According to a new report from multiple sources inside the minimum security prison where Ghislaine Maxwell is being held, Maxwell has apparently formed a secretive gang, for lack of a better way to describe it. Let me read you this. She has befriended 3 women and allegedly sees them as the, quote, finest and best educated among the population at federal prison Camp Bryan in Texas. These friends include Bethany Cataldi, a disgraced doctor serving 8 years for charging the government for non-existent procedures. Another is former CFO Antonetta Wynn, who plundered $9 million from company funds to splurge on purses and luxury vacations. And her bestest best friend is Jennifer Bingston Cook, a former bookkeeper who wrote checks worth $1.6 million to herself. The source from the prison said, quote, "They are highly secretive. They whisper to one another and cover their mouths so nobody can understand what they are saying." Now, if you ask me, there are things in prison that definitely deserve privacy, but do not get privacy, right? Like showers, going to the bathroom, things like that. That needs to be reformed, okay? These individuals need that kind of privacy for those situations. Where they do not deserve privacy, especially somebody like Ghislaine Maxwell, is out in the open, out in the general population. So if she is having super secret meetings with these other criminals to the point where they're covering their mouths so nobody can see or hear what they're saying, if I'm a prison guard, that's going to ring some bells for me. I'm going to be like, hey, wait a minute. We've got a bunch of criminals being very secretive in an area where they shouldn't have privacy at all. Maybe, just maybe, we ought to check that out. Right? I mean, maybe I'm crazy, but I don't think things like that should be allowed in prison where you have large populations of convicted felons whispering secrets to one another in an area where there ought not be secrets. Maybe it's just me. But furthermore, that's just the fun part, right? Okay, she's got her little gang of other women who she thinks are highly educated. She thinks they have money. And part of that, actually, just let me go on this, is Ghislaine Maxwell. The reason she even got involved with Epstein to begin with was because Epstein obviously was a billionaire. Maxwell came from a life of privilege. Her father was a very wealthy man. But eventually, he lost it all. And Maxwell had nothing. So she comes to the United States, meets up with Epstein, realizes she can get back into that lifestyle she had grown up with, and that's what happened. So I think the reason she's gravitating towards these women who stole millions and millions of dollars from their companies or the government is because she thinks, oh, look, I can get back into this lifestyle. I can be part of this again. But they're in prison and they don't have all the money they stole, sweetheart. So I don't know what you're thinking is going to happen, but that's not it. The other thing, however, and this again is the much more disturbing part, is that multiple different people at that prison, who work at the prison, not inmates, detailed the kind of special privileges that Maxwell is getting. For example, she doesn't have to have 2 roommates like everybody else. For a long period of time, she has had no roommates. But when she did finally get one, she was able to pick who she wanted to be her cellmate. Nobody else in prison at all, really, got to do that. So she was able to pick her roommate, and of course, she picked the woman who's her best friend. And they also reiterated reports from months and months ago about the fact that you have prison staff basically acting like her personal valets. She gets to pick her meals. She gets to eat in private when she chooses to do so. They act as her secretary, typing up notes for her and emailing them out. This is a woman that should be in the worst of the worst of the worst that the prison system has to offer. And she was, until the Trump administration decided to move her. Todd Blanche is the one who did that. So, when the Democrats retake the House of Representatives, I know Robert Garcia came out and said, we've got a lot of things we got to ask Blanche about the Epstein files, and that's what they're going to do day one, he says. The first thing you need to ask him is, what did he talk about with Maxwell in that prison in Florida, and why did you move her out of there a couple days later? The public deserves answers. The victims of Epstein deserve answers more than anybody. But Todd Blanche did something, and everybody deserves to know what it was. Thanks for watching, and if you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do so, and do not forget to like and comment and share widely among your friends.